Welcome back to Liferay. This is my video number 6, and in this video I'll talk about Liferay Document Management System. As I mentioned in my first video, Liferay is a multi-tenant environment, which means that you can create separate sites and every site can have their own asset, documents, media, files, content, blogs, wiki, discussion, forums, so all the assets can be separated per site. So in this demo, I'm going to go to Liferay DXP site, and that's the default site that I'm working on. And in this site, I will go to demonstrate all the features that we have inside our document management system. So I will log in here as Bruno. And if you remember from my previous videos, Bruno is my super user as he has access to all the admin feature in Liferay. And once I access content, connect to Bruno, as you can see, going right, here he has access to the all content since he's an admin user, and one of them is the document management system. Since some user were not going to have access to the admin console, Bruno actually added a page. So this page he added on the site, and this page actually has all the folder of the document management system. So for example, in my demo, I will log in as Nail, which is he is just an employee. He will not have access to the document management system under Liferay admin console here, but he will have it under the pages here. So the first thing I would like to talk about is the security and how easy you can manage security and assign security for different folders and content to different people. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna impersonate myself, and in case you guys didn't follow my previous videos, impersonate, it's a feature in Liferay where you can impersonate another user as an admin user just to see how he can see your website. So it's a very nice feature if you want to allow admin user to track any problem you have. Just they can impersonate you and they can see what's the problem you see on your site. So for now, I'm going to impersonate myself as Nail, and Nail is an employee. So he doesn't have a lot of access in the site since he's just an employee. So as you can see here, when I go to the doc, so I'm here impersonate myself as Nail, and in the other tab, I'm still Bruno here. So if I go back to my site and my doc page, so as you can see here as Bruno, I can see all these documents, but on the other tab, when I'm as Nail, I just have access to two folders. Okay, so the other thing also, Nail doesn't have access to the document management system under Liferay DXP site, so they need to go to Liferay doc page just to be able to access the documents. So as an employee, he just have access to the white papers folder and the images folder. As an admin, he has access, Bruno as an admin, he has access to all the folders. So he has access to home page, welcome page, images. So all the pages that we use it has content that we use it inside our web content inside the welcome page and the home page, right? So the first thing I would like to talk about is how easy we can change permissions with document management system. So I'm gonna go to my document repository, and let's say I want to allow Nail as an employee to view the welcome page folder. So all I can do is just go to the permission of that folder, and now I can go to an employee role, and inside my employee role I can grant the view permission to Nail, and when I click save, now when I go to that page and just refresh it, actually I can just click on this page again. Now Nail will have access to the welcome page. As you can see, when Nail accesses this welcome page, he doesn't have any add permissions, so there is no add button here. But if I went back to my permissions and allow him to add documents in this folder and click save again, now if I went back to my document repository and go to the same page and go to the welcome, now I can see that Neil has an access to add documents inside this folder. So anytime you want to allow permission, you can ask the administrator, and the administrator can do this in a couple of seconds, as you can see here. I'm gonna remove the add permissions again from Neil since I don't want to grant this to employees, and click save. And going back to my pages, Now I don't see anymore the welcome tab. So you can easily allow add permission for users to upload document or not uploading documents to any folder you have. The second step I would like to talk about is something we call document type. So document type is a way where you can group metadata fields so that user whenever they upload a new file they can attach it to a document type. So it's going to be a better way to arrange your documents. Plus those metadata fields, it can make your document easier to be found inside your search. So let me give you an example here. So I'm gonna go ahead and create a new document type, and I'm gonna name that document type as sales presentation. So anyone wants to upload a new sales presentation, he needs to upload it under that document type. So I'm gonna go ahead and create a new document type, and I will name it sales presentations, right? And here I can define the metadata fields that I want them to be available. So the first one I want to be available is a field. Let me add a text box. And in this text box, I need anyone upload the presentation, he needs to add the author name. And then I'm gonna add another date field. Sorry, where's the date field? Here we go. So I can drag and drop the date field. Actually, I added in the wrong place. Let me add it under this. Here we go. And inside the date field, I'm gonna write expiration date. And the last field I want to add is the geolocation field. So I want anyone to add a presentation. He must define where this presentation will be valid to. Is it valid to do it in North America, in Europe, in Asia, or he has to define which location they want to. Those fields have much more properties where you can make them required, where you can indexable or not. So there's a lot of feature you can go through under the setting tab. Right, so I created my permission sales presentation, and now I'm gonna click save. And now as you can see here, the sales presentation is actually available. And the other option I can do, I can define permission on this sales presentation. So I can define which role will be allowed to view or use this document type. In my use case, I'm going to allow it to guest, which means everyone in my site will be able to use this role. Sorry, this document type, right? Then the second step I will do, I'm gonna go to my document repository again, and I will create a new document file. And that document file, I'm gonna name it sales so that people can upload sales presentation in that file. And I will allow that only sales presentation type files will be allowed. So I can limit to only sales presentation to be uploaded to that folder. Let's see how we can do that. So I'm gonna add a new folder, and in my folder I'll name it sales. And after I create my folder, again, this folder is still visible to everyone. I can make the permission, make sure it's visible. It's not visible to employees, so it's just but visible to the guests. So if I remove it from guest, it's not going to be visible unless people who has a specific role. So I'm going to click save. So you have to be logged in to see this folder. And the other thing I will do, I'm going to edit that folder, and I will say this folder is restricted only to have sales presentation documents. And if someone upload a sales presentation, he needs to go to workflow so that it needs to get approved from the marketing manager. Okay, so in my use case, I'm gonna make this folder visible only to the marketing team, and the marketing associate will upload a new sales presentation, and the marketing manager will approve it. So let's see how that works. I'm gonna click save, and one more step just to limit this for sales manager, marketing people. So I'm gonna limit this to marketing people to be able to do everything on those folders. So I'm giving them all the permissions, right? So I give all the permission to the marketing people. And the last thing, I'm gonna remove it from the rest of the site members. Click Save. So that folder will be only visible to marketing people. So let's see how that works. So in the other browser, I'm logging here as Michelle. So Michelle, she is a marketing manager. So she will be able to see the sales folder, and she actually has access to the document. Since she is a manager, she has access to the document and media folder from under Liferay DXP site. So she either can access it from here, or she actually can access it from the site itself, from the docs pages. On the other browser, I'm gonna log out from Bruno and log back as Richard. And when I log back as Richard, I can go also under the console, and I can see also Richard has access to the documents and media from this file. Okay, so the first thing Richard will do, he's gonna go to the sales folder, and he will upload the document. As you can see here, I cannot see any other document type other than sales presentations. So he's gonna click sales presentations, and he's gonna choose a file. So I'm just gonna choose any PDF I have here. And as you can see here, I can add the author name. So I'm gonna add my name. And then this sales presentation is available till the end of the year. And I'm just gonna change the name of the sales 2017. Right? And here I can say this presentation is valid for just North America. So I can come here and say this is just valid here for North America customers. And now I'm ready to submit this. But as you can see, this is submit for publication, so it needs to be approved first. So from the manager before it get to have the approved status. So as you can see, it has a pending status now. So when I go back here, if I went back to my site, just refresh it as manager. So Richard has a notification that Michelle has a notification that Richard uploaded new documents and she needs to approve it. So she can go to her task flows and she can go to all the task flows that she has. She view that she has this document need to be approved. She can either assign it to herself or she can just keep it in her queue, saying that this is not important to review it now. Remind me in a week or so. So she will assign it to herself. She can add a comment if she wants. I will work on that. And now that's under her queue, so she can go to her queue, and now she has this file to be reviewed. So she can either view the file, she can click the view folder, and then she can view the presentation, go through it. As you can see, she doesn't really need to download the presentation. Everything she can view from the site. And after doing this, she can decide either to approve it or reject it, or even do it like internal collaboration with Richard. So she can tell him, Richard, let's say for example, please use different font next time, right? So they can do collaboration over a workflow before it get approved. But for now, it looks good for her, so she can approve it. So she's gonna go approve, approved, and once she clicked done, now if I went back to my pages and just refresh this, now you can see this has got approved, which means it will be visible for everyone, right? So when I go to this documents, I can actually view it. I don't need to download it to view it. The other option as well, I can view all the metadata fields that I filled. So as you can see here, I can view my name, my expiration date, and just geolocation. All of that I defined inside the document type, right? The other nice feature also that we have is that as we do have something called Liferay Sync. And Liferay Sync, it's a desktop client where you can synchronize your Liferay server with your desktop or mobile phone. So it basically works the same way as Google Drive or Dropbox Drive, where you can sync your document repository from your server inside your desktop. The difference between Liferay and Google Drive and Dropbox is that you can have your own private environment, your own documents on Liferay, and then you can have your own private sync folders where you can sync your private documents from Liferay. You don't need to add your private documents on Google or Dropbox, right? So let's see how that works. So what I'm gonna do here, I'm gonna go on the top and search for my sync, Liferay sync, right? And here I can click preference and open it. And now here I need to just add the server information. So I'm gonna add the server here, localhost, sorry, and then my name. So it's gonna be Richards. She actually going to Richard will actually sync her desktop with the server. And then Richard, as you can see now, he actually has access to those sites. He's gonna choose only to sync with Liferay DXP sites and his own private documents. And once he does that and click proceed, now he can add here a name, my docs sync, open folder. So now on my desktop now I do have a new folder that calls my docs, and here I can view all the documents that on my server. So as you can see, I have the sales presentation, and the sales presentation got added here, right? The ninth feature about this is that I can actually sync, do any changes offline on my desktop, and once I connect to the internet, I can sync my folder or my mobile phone with the server. Let's see how that works. So I'm gonna edit this sales presentation, but just to not go through the workflow again, I'm going to remove the workflow. Uh, I guess Michelle has a permission to remove the workflow, but let me check here. Yes, she does. And she will remove the workflow from this folder. So now any edits will be on this folder. It will be reflected immediately on the browser. Right, so I'm going back to my content and management folder, and I'm gonna go to my sales presentation. And now what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna edit from my desktop. So I will go to my sales presentation, and I would just, let me open it with the preview just to do the edits. So I'm gonna open it with the preview here, and now I'm gonna just do any edit here. So just go ahead and just do any edit, right? And now I'm ready to sync this with the server. So I'm just gonna click save. And once I click save, Liferay Sync will take whatever I did here and sync it with the server. And now if I went back to my server and just refresh my page, now I can see my edit got reflected on my page. So everything I do on the desktop, it get reflected on the server as well. And the nice option is all the history that I did, it's always exists here. So I have two version now, version 1 and version 1.1. If I decided the 1.1, which is the current version now, I don't like it, I can actually delete this version. And now I'm rolling back to the older version. By doing this, Liferay Sync will get the existing version, sync it back with the server. So if I went back to my server and just tried to open this document again, now I can see the document. It doesn't have any edit here. So you can sync between your server and your sync anytime, and that's all based on permission. If you don't have permission to do this, you're not going to be able to do it. All right, so that's the first part of my presentation about the document management system. The other thing also I would like to talk about is the integration with SharePoint. So some of our clients, they already were in SharePoint or Documentum or any document management system, and when they move to Liferay, they don't want to move all the document at the same time. They want to do it on stages. So in Liferay, if you are using any out-of-the-box document management system that support CMIS protocols, you can actually connect the CMIS repository with Liferay. So let me show you how that works. So if I went went back to this browser and just log out, I'll log in again as Bruno. And now, but by doing this, I have access now to the docs folder. But since Bruno is an admin, he's the only one who has access also to the SharePoint folder. So let me see you how easy to do the configuration for SharePoint. So if I went back to the document repository here and edit that one, you can view that all I need to do is just adding the name of the folder, and I need to just add the URL of the folder, and that's it. Liferay will connect to your SharePoint environment, provide a single sign-on so that you don't need to re-log in again. So what I'm gonna do is inside my document repository, I'll click on SharePoint. So that actually accessing our SharePoint environment. It's gonna be kind of slow because the cloud environment is slow now. So it's accessing now the SharePoint, and let me open the SharePoint environment as well on the other browser. So now those are folder coming from SharePoint, and let me open one of them. So I'm gonna go to white papers, for example. And here on this folder, I'm going to my libraries, and then documents, white papers. So you can see all of these white papers are actually here. So it's still gained the white papers now. So our connection to the cloud environment now is kind of slow. That's why it takes a little bit of time. All right, here you go. So now I can actually view my PDFs that I have here. I can view it here. Also, I can do all the operation that I can do in SharePoint. I can check in, check out, move it. I can upload a new folder here if I want. So I can come here and upload a new folder, and that would upload it also on SharePoint. So all the features that I can do on SharePoint, I can do it here from Liferay and integrate this with Liferay. This is the end of my video. Please subscribe to my channels for more videos, and I'll see you in the next one.